It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
That's right, live, local, and social. It is the Splash Live on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you so much for joining us as we are on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, YouTube at Civic Center TV. Also, thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot to talk about and to get into today that is affecting the community. More importantly, at the top of the day, Oakland County Sheriff's Office hosted a town hall meeting recently, and it was about the fentanyl crisis. And as we are live, local, and social, the Splash Live's very own Jake Schaff has a story.
A devastating fentanyl crisis has been wreaking havoc in Oakland County, resulting in numerous fatalities and ever-growing concern from citizens. But county officials are taking action to make sure that this problem is stopped once and for all. A town hall meeting was recently held in Pontiac, where citizens from all over Oakland County stopped by to voice their concerns, share their stories, and to be provided ever-valuable information on how these addictions can be identified and avoided in the future.
What's been happening over the last few years is illicit fentanyl has become the predominant toxic chemical, and it's proliferated in pretty much all drugs on the street and counterfeit pills. So it's our duty to educate the community to know and understand the dangers related to experimentation, use, because we're seeing levels rise of fatalities here in our county and nationwide.
I think with what we see in the community is more education that's needed. With the fentanyl that is out there, we are finding it in a lot of drugs that you wouldn't expect it. It's not just in heroin. It is in crack cocaine. It is in marijuana. And so we are seeing overdoses occurring because of that. And so we want to make sure that we can talk to the public, we can educate the public, let them know what resources are out there and available to them. One of them being the Save a Life boxes. There's over 100 Save a Life boxes in Oakland County where a person can obtain Narcan, fentanyl testing strips, xylazine testing strips in order to have on hand should they personally need it for their own use or to carry with them. I personally carry Narcan with me all the time. I never know when I'm going to come across somebody who might be in need.
What do you hope the public takes away from this meeting?
I think what I would like the public to take away is that they can actually be a part of a solution, to become aware of what the dangers are, to become aware of what actions they can take, and to become involved to help support their community and not have to suffer the consequences of the devastating loss that occurs from accidental poisonings and overdoses in our community.
For me, one of the greatest things is trying to combat the stigma that exists out there for people who are suffering from a substance use disorder. And I think that really starts with people being able to have honest and open conversations, being able to understand where a person suffering from addiction is coming from. They have gone to a dark place and back, and they have had to do it with the general public telling them they're not good enough, with themselves believing they're not good enough. And they have had to fight and claw and scratch their way back from that and work towards recovery. And these are some of the strongest people I've ever met in my entire life. And so it's so important for people to understand that, and we lift them up and we celebrate the work that people do to work towards recovery in our community.
Let's hope that the citizens of Oakland County were able to take away some valuable information from this meeting and that they know that there is always someone to turn to for support, as we're all fighting on the same team. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Yes, and thank you for that story, Jake. As we are talking about a crisis that is not only national news, but hitting right here in our homes of Oakland County and the Greater West Bloomfield area. So we will continue to keep you informed on news regarding that, which brings us to the next topic of another event going on in our area. The Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition holding a special panel discussion also on the fentanyl crisis right here in our area. That'll be this week at the Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. Joining us to give a more educated perspective on that event and topic in general, Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, Lisa Berkey, joins the Splash Live. And Lisa, just starting off, can you just let us know about the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition organization and its mission overall?
Sure. There are 21 coalitions in Oakland County, and we are one of them. We've been around since the year about 2000. And what our goal is to help our kids grow to their greatest potential. And so we do programming on a variety of subjects like drug and alcohol prevention, mental health, internet safety, anti bullying, coping, resilience. Like I said, anything that's going to help the kids grow to their greatest potential. So we bring programming into the schools, and we also do evening programs for parents and community members, just like we are doing at Henry Ford this week.
Interesting. Great information to know for myself and for the community who may not have been privy to your organization, the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition. Anyway, so getting into the event now, it's kind of self-explanatory with what you said, but I want you to give a little bit more detail. What inspired you to organize this event on fentanyl education and prevention?
So our job is to bring topics to the community that are very important and timely. And right now, we believe fentanyl is a very important topic because lots of people are dying from it because of the buying fake drugs over the internet, or somebody just taking a pill from somebody else. And it's just that one-time use of using it that can kill somebody. So we think it's very important to educate our community from a variety of different aspects. We're having a forum of different people so people can hear the different parts of it.
Great information. And like we spoke on this briefly in other episodes on the Splash Live, where this is starting to become a growing issue and concern within our community here in West Bloomfield, or even in Oakland County in general. We have the sheriff also giving out information and doing different town hall meetings regarding the fentanyl crisis. So we definitely do appreciate your efforts and your organization effort in actually going and tackling and addressing this issue, I should say. So how does the community education help in addressing the opioid epidemic that we are currently experiencing?
So this specific event is going to have 4 different people speaking. We are going to have Lisa Kaplan from Maple Grove, Henry Ford Maple Grove. She is a social worker and has been in the addiction field for years. We'll have Dr. Jason Veeder from the ER department of Henry Ford. We'll have Chief Patton, which everybody knows. And we'll have Steve Norris, who is the Director of Recovery and Harm Reduction at the Alliance, speaking. So we're going to have 4 different people speaking, like I said, from a different direction. So more of Lisa Kaplan can discuss about addiction and how to identify it and what we can do about it, where Dr. Jason Veeder will talk about more of from the medical standpoint of what's going on with fentanyl. Chief Patton can talk about the partnerships that we have here in West Bloomfield to help tackle this, and how often the police are seeing something and what they do about it. And then Steve Norris will talk about from the harm reduction and recovery support aspect. So he'll tell us more about what they're doing to educate people on it so this will slow down. Another thing that Steve will discuss, and I know it's been on the Splash before, we have Save a Life boxes throughout West Bloomfield.
Right.
And in those Save a Life boxes, there are Narcan. Thank you. That's a great picture to put up there. We have Narcan in there. We have fentanyl test strips. We have doTERRA bags, which is the eco-friendly way to dispose of unused and expired meds. And there are all sorts of resources in there. And I believe the box that you're showing right there is actually right at our town hall in West Bloomfield.
Good, good. Yes, and like you said, we discussed this previously before. So yes, we have live examples and pictures of those Save a Life boxes that are around the Oakland County, specifically West Bloomfield community. Joining us right now from the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, talking about a special panel discussion on fentanyl this week at the Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. We have Executive Director of Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, Lisa Berkey, joining us talking about this. So I want to get into it because the community is a big part of this, right? We actually need them to actually show up and participate. What or how do you ensure maximum participation from the community at this event? Will there be an opportunity for them to come and speak, ask questions to the panel? What's going on with the participation from the community there?
Wonderful. So first of all, we are advertising it through Henry Ford, through the coalition, through Oakland County, through the police department, variety of ways, and doing the splash today. So
Right.
hopefully lots of people are hearing about it. So we will have hopefully a large crowd in the demonstration kitchen. And yes, the people in the audience will be able to ask questions. They can, if they don't want to say them out loud, they'll be able to fill out a 3x5 card, and I, as the moderator, will ask it for them if they're embarrassed for any reason to speak out loud. The other thing that's great about our panel discussions, our speakers will always stay after to talk to people privately, because sometimes these are uncomfortable situations where people don't want to raise their hand. So they can pull one of our speakers aside after the event and they will speak to them at that point, or I know they all will hand out their business card and they can contact them at any time.
And that's great. That's a great way to do it. I like that you're doing it both ways. They get an opportunity to speak out loud in public, get their idea, their question, their statement out for everyone to hear. It may be something that they want everyone to hear. And then there may be moments, which we all have, where sometimes you don't necessarily want to inquire in front of everybody, the entire consensus. So yeah, having the opportunity to pull one of the panelists to the side after the event is very, very important. An event which is also free, to my understanding. It's on a first come, first served basis. And you also, if I'm not mistaken, say this event may be recorded. Can you just speak on the event being recorded? Why is that part important? I feel like I know why, but I want you to explain if possible.
Unfortunately, I don't believe it can be recorded at this time, so
Okay.
unfortunately, it will not be. But thank you for asking that question. Yes, it would have been wonderful if we could have done it, but I don't believe it is able to. So that is even more reason for people to contact us and
Good
learn
point.
more about the event on April 17th at 7 p.m. and come to Henry Ford Hospital. If they are unable to attend and they want to learn more after, they can look at our website to give me a phone call and I can connect them to any of the speakers if they have any questions if they cannot attend.
Absolutely, Lisa. And essentially, like we said, a very, very important meeting, essentially that any and everyone from the Greater West Bloomfield area would want to attend, whether it affects you directly or indirectly. Going there to get that knowledge to help yourself or others, very, very important. And once again, this event is April 17th, 7 p.m., Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, the demonstration kitchen on West Maple Road. Any last words, parting words for us, Lisa? Any important information for the community before we part ways?
Yes, a couple things. One, this is our first live event at the demonstration kitchen since COVID. So we're very excited for it. And we're very
Nice.
thankful to have a partnership with Henry Ford Hospital and Henry Ford Maple Grove, the police department, and the Alliance to put together a program like this. So we're very thankful for all of our partnerships. And this is open not just to our West Bloomfield community, this is open to anybody around who wants to make the drive to Henry Ford West Bloomfield. And one additional piece that I would add is on April 27th, it is DEA Take Back Day. And that is the
Ah,
day to empty out your medicine cabinets. Unused and expired meds should be removed from your home.
correct.
And here in West Bloomfield, we're lucky that our West West Bloomfield Police Department will take those 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No needles, no liquids, but all medicine besides needles and liquids. And on DEA Take Back Day, it's just the day that we advertise it.
Right.
And the West Bloomfield Police Department is waiting for you to come on in and bring everything in. But like I said, in West Bloomfield, we're lucky to have it at any time. The Orchard Lake Police Department is also participating in DEA Take Back Day. So they'll be available on the 27th from 10 to 2 to take back your unused and expired meds.
Great information, Lisa. Thank you again for providing that. Perfect place to land also. We will have more information in regards to that DEA drug take-back program going on later on. Thank you again. Joining us, Executive Director from the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, talking about the special panel discussion this week on fentanyl at the Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. Lisa Berkey, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
More great information for the community about the fentanyl crisis that has affected us here in Oakland County and the Greater West Bloomfield area. That's just more things for you to know, for you to pass around also. And once again, that is a fentanyl crisis meeting that will be hosted this week at the Greater West Bloomfield, or I should say the Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital Demonstration Kitchen on West Maple Road. For more information, visit their website, gwbcoalition.org, or make it simple, go to their Facebook at Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition on Facebook. So we have so much more to talk about to keep you informed on what's going on in our communities of West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and Kego Harbor. It'll all be live, local, and social right here on the Splash Live on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Orchard Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. It's that time of year, Lakers. Gather around to honor our community's volunteers at the 52nd Annual Michigan Week Awards. Watch as these local All-Stars are honored for their leadership, dedication, and passion to their community. To register, go to MichiganWeek.org or catch the live broadcast May 10th at 7 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com or on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. And now, back to the Splash, live.
That's right, live, local, and social. It is the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us today. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Keeping things light and what's going on in the community. Since the weather is starting to break, we love to tell you about things that are going on specifically outside, giving you a chance to enjoy nature right here in our backyard. Speaking of nature, a nature sanctuary spring walk from Orchard Lake and West Bloomfield Parks is actually happening very soon this month. And joining us to talk a little bit more about that, we have naturalist from the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary, Carol Fink, joining the Splash Live. Thank you for joining us, Carol.
Well, thanks. Pleasure to be here, Kevin. Thank you.
Absolutely. We have what I would consider a very unique event going on here in West Bloomfield. What is the significance from your perspective of this spring nature walk event for our community?
The significance is having people come together to be out of the madness and the craziness and spend some peaceful, beautiful, introspective time in the woods. It's absolutely beautiful and healing and peaceful.
Nice. I absolutely agree with that. You know, sometimes I'm just driving to work and I drive past the lakes early in the morning, right when the sun is rising. And that's when it's the most peaceful part of my drive, when I'm driving past something that's nature, lakes, woods, forest, that type of thing, and going outside and breathing in that fresh oxygen from the trees and that nature of that trail, hearing the birds, I imagine it has to be extremely refreshing. So this is also, like we said, a collaboration between Orchard Lake and West Bloomfield Parks. Can you talk about how this collaboration came together?
Sure. We have the Grand Slam over here. We have this incredibly beautiful sanctuary that's owned by Orchard Lake, the city of Orchard Lake, and now we're combining the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, West Bloomfield Parks and Rec, the City Hall, and the city. And the best part is all the people from the community of all ages. And Kevin, you really nailed it. And you have the secret to life. When you said you were driving and you noticed the sun, you noticed the trees, you smell the oxygen.
Yes.
That's what we need to do. And that's just what you're doing. But just watch for the car in front of you.
Yeah, I know.
Slam on the brakes.
Good point. Yeah, I shouldn't be distracted. That is a great point. But getting back to the root of it, no pun intended, nature is what it's all about. We mentioned this before on the show, being grounded. Now, that's something I like to do when I like to take my shoes and socks off, go outside and literally just let my feet touch the ground. Now, that's not going to necessarily be the case with this situation, but like you said, there is a great significance with this event in the community. I want to know, with you being a naturalist, this is what I'm curious about from your perspective. How does this tour contribute to the preserving of local history and nature?
That's a great question. If we take the history part of it, when you're in the woods and you're looking at ancient rocks, very old trees, you're looking at soil, you're looking at trees that have decomposed, gone back into soil to make new trees. This goes back in time to, days long ago. This is the same land that our Native Americans walked on hundreds of years ago. So the history starts not just last week. Our history goes back, to the glaciers. So when I'm hiking in the woods, I always feel that the long, long, deep history of the woods. So the more that we can have people come out and enjoy what's going on, I think the better we all feel. It doesn't matter if you're 2 years old or 102. There's always something that we get from the forest, and we give back to the forest with kindness and love.
No,
don't get me started.
No, I want you to get started, Carol. Because I'm already there with you when it comes to nature and connecting with it. And I want to ask you a question a little bit later on in regards to that. But no, you hit the nail on the head. Now, for one, it can be very peaceful when you're out on the trails, enjoying nature by yourself. Don't get me wrong. But I like this event because we're bringing the community together. And like you said earlier, it's significant to have the community together, especially now that outside is getting better. There's a lot of madness and craziness in the world. Internet talk. Let's get off of Facebook. Let's meet each other in person. That's what I think is key right now. And joining us right now again is from the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary, naturalist Carol Fink, talking about their upcoming event, Nature Spring Walk, in collaboration with Orchard Lake and West Bloomfield Parks also. Do you have any interesting stories from doing any of these tours that stands out to you personally?
Every day's a story out in the woods. I think being in the presence of we've got some very mighty trees out there, and taking time and sitting, the trees talk to us, and listening to the trees. And I know I was meditating once or many times, so we can talk about that too in a bit.
Yes.
And I'm sitting with my back against a tree, and I'm having what we call monkey mind. Your mind is just spinning in a million different directions. And the tree dust, they do talk. We breathe with the trees, right? We breathe in oxygen, we expel carbon dioxide. The trees breathe in carbon dioxide and expel oxygen.
Right.
So we are breathing and we are alive with the trees. So I'm hanging out on this beautiful tree, and my mind is going a million miles an hour. And it's hard to say if you feel it or if you hear it, but it's an intuitive knowledge, the tree says to me, stop the chatter and breathe with me. And it was so clear that I had, come back and breathe with the tree, and it calms me right down. So it's that big connection that we have with nature, and all of us have it. And there's no wrong way to connect with nature. She's there waiting for us. She gives us gifts. So the experiences, what may be subtle and not giant. I mean, the experiences of watching, watching a turtle on a log. It's not a giant experience. It's the peaceful beauty of nature. So it's learning to tune in your senses to what is so beautiful and real out there in nature time. Well, it's very pretty pictures.
Carol, you're talking facts right here. You already listen, you don't have to convince me. When I tell them, they think I'm crazy. They say, I don't believe Kevin. What does he know? He's just on the Splash Live. But when it's coming from a naturalist like you, a professional like you, Carol, it makes so much more sense. But you already know, like I said, I completely agree. We have to take time out from that natural hustle and bustle of life, the city life that we live. Take some time to connect. Hear what nature is telling you, the universe is telling you, whatever you believe in. Take that time, Carol. I'm right there with you. I understand. So how do you feel
got it, Kevin. Yes, you do.
Exactly. How do you feel the Historical Society engages with the community in general with the events that you all throw? Why is that important?
Well, we're very, the Historical Society is so important to our community because this is our history, going back to Paleo Indians, going back up to the present. Right. So we try to engage our whole community, whether it's our water systems, our rails to trails, some of our historic buildings, and our beautiful lakes and green spaces. So the more that we can promote that and help people enjoy what we have, we're so lucky to have all these lakes, rivers, and streams.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's really. So that's how I think we help as a historical society. We please come to the museum. There's so much to learn about going on there.
Yeah.
Oh, and when we have our hike, I want to encourage people before I forget. The hike only is about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but please come early, stay late. Don't just wait for an event to come and be in the woods. If you're driving home and you need to pull into a nature sanctuary, just pull in. Don't wait. Don't hurry up and come home and watch the news. That's waiting for you. But stop and enjoy the moment. Now, while you're in the woods, it is tick season, and they are kind of waiting for us. So make sure I recommend that you wear long sleeves, shirts. I recommend you wear long pants, and it looks a little dorky, but you can tuck your socks over your pants because ticks are they wait for us to come in, and they like to feed on us. So I would never say don't come in the woods, but make sure that you come prepared. Bug spray is good if you if you like it. I recommend to stay on the paths, but I'm also going to say go off the paths and explore the beauty. Don't tell anybody. Oh, we're on television. But before you walk off the path, ask Mother Nature, is it okay if I come off the path? Don't tell anyone. Right. And sit by a tree. Just sit and observe and be. So we can't always stay on the path in life. I know I can't, but I'm usually in trouble.
Carol got
bars. But go off the path. Thank Mother Nature. I hope I don't crush any flowers. Thank you for letting me walk off the paths. Even when we have our tour, we're expecting quite a large turnout, which is good news. I also recommend to people, I have field guides that I'll be bringing. Bring your field guides. We have some for you. You don't need to stay in a group. Just go out and explore. Nature's waiting for you. We're a part of nature. Yeah. And that's really important.
Absolutely. And you hit on all the great points. I'm glad you even mentioned the fact of dressing appropriately, because we had to at least talk about that. We are walking through the woods, ladies and gentlemen. So, and it's so great that you mentioned it is tick season. No one wants to take any of these the friends from nature home. Let them stay at home in nature. So make sure you are wearing, and just like you said, it may seem dorky, but tuck your pants and your socks. I'll dress dorky. It's okay. I don't want any ticks home. So
dorky is in when you're in the woods.
I know, right? At least we know you're comfortable and safe. Well, Carol, thank you so much for your time talking about this event, the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary Spring Walk. It'll be at the Orchard Lake, that'll be at the Pontiac Pontiac Trail. Excuse me, Pontiac
Correct.
Trail. It is free admission. Donations are accepted Saturday, April 28th, 2 to 3 p.m. Carol, any more additional information that you want to tell the community while we still have it?
I would say our parking lot's really small. So right across the street, I think it's a Montessori school or a school, and they invite us to use their parking lot. It's a Sunday, so the school isn't open. So there's a larger lot there. Please be careful crossing Pontiac Trail, crazy drivers, but that's good. So, if you have a bike, ride your bike. It's on a beautiful day, it can get really crowded out there. If it's a rainy day, bring your raincoat. There's nothing better than being in the woods. I recommend a raincoat. But hearing the raindrops, watching the drops that fall onto the pond make these beautiful concentric circles that we have nothing to do with. It's all how nature designs things. So enjoy the rainy days.
Yeah. Oh, I am an advocate for that. I love to be outside in the rain. Hey, we
It's
could
less
talk all
crowded.
day, Carol. I thank you so much for your time. Carol
Thank you.
Fink, naturalist for the Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary, talking about the spring walk event happening later on this month. Thank you again for your time, Carol.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is our job here at the Splash Live to keep you, our audience, and residents of Oakland County, West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and Kego Harbor informed about what's going on, whether it's good or bad. A great thing for you to get out, take your family. It is free, but they are accepting donations, which I'm sure that they would definitely appreciate. For more information, you can visit their website, gwbhs.org, or go to their Facebook, of course. They have a Facebook page, GWBHS on Facebook. Also, keeping things moving and letting you know about what's going on in the Greater West Bloomfield area, specifically in Orchard Lake. The Orchard Lake Police Department is partnering with the DEA for a drug take-back program. Very important, very on topic with what we have been talking about. I am not the expert here, which is why I am currently being joined by the Chief of Police for the Orchard Lake Police Department, Chief Jeffrey Gomez. Thank you so much for joining us, Chief.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, sir. So what we have is a very important situation to discuss, this take-back program. Can you talk about what inspired the Orchard Lake Police Department to participate in this DEA national program?
Well, it's a great program. We've actually been participating in take-back events for years. Actually, our first one that I was involved in was several years ago when the Walgreens was in Orchard Lake at Orchard Lake and Pontiac Trail. We partnered with them and we held an event in their parking lot to take drugs back. And like I said, it's a very important program because it prevents medications from the improper disposal. So it doesn't end up in the water system, in landfills, in dumpsters, things like that, or in the hands of children or people that shouldn't have any unused medication. So
Right.
again, it's a very important program.
Right. And it's very important. It's another opportunity. I'm glad we've been seeing more events like this around in the community where people can properly dispose of their hazardous waste, unused prescriptions, whether they're over the counter or prescribed from an actual doctor also. Even though I feel like I know the answer to this question, it's important to get this from the Chief of Police perspective. How does this initiative contribute to community safety and well-being, Chief?
Well, again, the goal of this is to keep medications out of the hands of children or people that are not prescribed this medication. As many are aware that we have a nationwide or even a global opioid crisis going on. And if we can prevent just one person from going down that path, then I find it to be a successful program.
Right, absolutely. And it's part of what you do on your everyday job to keep the community safe, and we highly encourage that. One thing that I found out about this program, I'm not sure, I believe we talked about this briefly. This is a national program. The DEA is a national agency, but
Yes.
we're doing this in partnership with them specifically here in our local area. Can you talk about why and how Orchard Lake Police Department chose to partner with this national agency?
Well, because on a local level, that's how you get more participation. We want to be convenient here in the area, not only serving just residents of Orchard Lake, but we would take medications from the surrounding areas, Greater West Bloomfield area,
Right.
anybody that wanted to stop by.
Mhm.
And I also wanted to point out that we have a drop box in our lobby that's available during business hours anytime. So not just during this event, anytime
That's
during the
good to
year,
know.
we can accept medications.
That's definitely good to know. It's not just this one-time event, Saturday, April 27th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., but they are available to drop them off at the Orchard Lake Police Station. Also, joining us right now to talk about the DEA Drug Take-Back Program in partnership with the Orchard Lake Police Department, Chief of Police Jeffrey Gomez, talking about different things that why this is important, I should say, in their partnership and why they partner with this national program. What advice do you have for residents who are unsure about what medications they can or cannot dispose of with this event?
So one thing with this event, we cannot accept liquids, needles, sharps of anything of that kind. So we cannot turn those types of medications in, but we can find another alternative for safe disposal. But during this program, we cannot accept those liquids or sharps.
Okay. So that brings up an interesting point. I feel like with that kind of would be a challenge in a way. But besides that, are there any challenges or logistical considerations in organizing and hosting events like this, and in a situation where you do have someone who does have those needles and those liquids? What do you do with that?
Well, like I said, we would be willing to assist with finding an alternative to safely disposing. We just wouldn't turn it into the DEA.
Right.
And logistically, I'm going to have an officer come in that would normally be working just to man the desk to be available for this event. But other than that, like I said, we'll accept whatever we can. And again, you don't have to be an Orchard Lake resident, and there's no questions asked. You don't have to identify yourself. You can just come bring us the medications. One thing that we've seen in the past, it would be good to remove any personal information off of your medication bottles or containers, just so we would try and remove that also, but you don't want your information getting compromised, right? So
Right.
A good tip would be to remove the labels before coming out, just so your name and medical information is not out there.
Good point. Good point, Chief. We were recently discussing and going over just recent town hall events going on in this area about the fentanyl crisis specifically, as well as the opioid crisis. How do you feel like events like this are very, very important, especially during times of crisis like that? Do you have any success stories that you can give any examples of, or just anything in general?
Just in general, I think public awareness is key to get the message out there that fentanyl is finding its way into more and more products, or people selling drugs that they, maybe marketing as Xanax, or hey, not illicitly on the street, this is Xanax. Well, it could be cut with fentanyl, and it could be a fatal dose.
Correct.
You never know what you're getting. That's why it's important to only ingest medications that are prescribed by a doctor and obtained from a legitimate pharmacy. Like I said, public awareness is key, and more people having access to Narcan, I feel, is important to be able to reverse the effects if somebody did ingest a high level of an opioid or fentanyl.
Right. No, 100% agree, and which is why we talked about the importance of knowing about the resources that are available, not only knowing about them and where they are, but how to properly use them in the case that you may have to actually do that. So thank you for that information. Saturday, April 27th, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., at the Orchard Lake Police Department, the DEA Drug Take Back Program. Any last words for the community before we part, Chief?
That's all. Thank you for having me, and I hope to see everyone out on that Saturday, April 27th, 10 to 2.
Absolutely. Chief of Police for the Orchard Lake Police Department, Jeffrey Gomez, joining us, talking about the DEA Drug Take Back Program they are participating in this month. Thank you again for your time, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Absolutely. You too. Have a better day for you, our listeners and audience. This is our job, like we say, to continue to keep you informed about things going on. You may have those old pill bottles in your cabinet, in your vanities, things of that nature. If you know you aren't using them, don't keep them in there. They aren't decorations. Please properly dispose of these items. For more information, visit their Facebook page, the Orchard Lake Police Department Facebook page at Orchard Lake Police on Facebook. We have so much more to keep you informed on and let you know what's going on in the Greater West Bloomfield area. We are live, we are local, we are social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. It's that time of year, Lakers. Gather around to honor our community's volunteers at the 52nd Annual Michigan Week Awards. Watch as these local all-stars are honored for their leadership, dedication, and passion to their community. To register, go to MichiganWeek.org or catch the live broadcast May 10th at 7 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com or on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on CivicCenterTV.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at CivicCenterTV.com and click Schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Yes, that's right, live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you so much for joining us on AT&T Channel 99, Comcast Channel 15, Facebook, Civic Center 15, Civic Center TV 15, as well as YouTube, Civic Center TV. Now, there is a food drive that is happening in our West Bloomfield area. The West Bloomfield Parks teamed up with Hospitality House for a food drive, which is a very unique and special food drive. And joining us on the Splash Live to give out more details in regards to that, member of not only the West Bloomfield Parks, but Hospitality House also. We have Megan Tahako join us on the Splash Live. And Megan, this food drive, like we just said, is special because it's not just one day, it's not just one location. Can you tell us about this special food donation drive?
Sure. So the food drive runs from April 15th through the 26th, and there's 4 locations within the township that people can drop off donated goods. Thank you for pulling up the list of items that they're suggesting would be good donations. It's always great to have a little help when you're trying to figure out what to donate. I have served on the board for Hospitality House for the past 2 years, and I also am the marketing manager here at West Bloomfield Park. So this has been really cool to have my 2 favorite organizations combined. I believe the food drive was actually set up by the West Bloomfield Police Department and the Police Foundation, and they're working with Vibe Credit Union to host the drive. So it really is a great example of community coming together, working with different organizations to help those in the community that truly need it.
That is great information. It's always good to hear that things like this are going on because there's always people in need, people that we can help, within our communities, our next door neighbors, within our backyard, and things of that nature. From your perspective, how do you envision the community participating and engaging and contributing to this food drive?
Yeah, I think it's kind of twofold. So, of course, if you can donate any items, especially the ones listed on the flyer there, would just be absolutely amazing. But also just awareness, right? So just letting people know that there is a food pantry. It's located in Commerce Township. Excuse me. So just letting people know that if they do have a need, there is a resource right in our backyard that wants to help. And food insecurity, it unfortunately is an issue that is just continuing to rise. So last year, for example, Hospitality House nearly doubled the amount of people that they were helping. So it's great that they were able to meet the need, but unfortunately, we would obviously hope that the need wouldn't be rising. They gave out over 1 million pounds of food last year. So it really is an organization that is very lean, but they're doing a lot of work. So, I think we've all felt it when we're out at the grocery store. Prices have just continued to rise. And some people, unfortunately, just are not able to absorb those costs. So I'm really hoping the community can step up and really support those around us that need it.
See, and you brought it up, Megan. I'm glad you did, because
I was just at the grocery store. I think I spent like $75. I walked back with like 3 bags of groceries. I said, how did I just spend $75? I used to have like hands full coming out of the grocery store spending $75. But it's great that we have organizations like this reacting to the inflation of groceries and food and things of that nature. Right now, joining us, representing West Bloomfield Parks and a member of Hospitality House, Megan Tahako, joining us talking about their food drive in partnership with West Bloomfield Parks Hospitality House Vibe Credit Union, and beginning April 15th through the 26th with various locations collecting these items. So, Megan, you kind of spoke about it a little bit just previously, but my perspective is this type of event and drive hits different because it's not like those national organizations, those national things where they're like, okay, donate money, and you donate and you never know where it's going. You never see the effects of what's going on. With it being a local organization and us serving an actual need within the community, can you just talk about the impact of actually the donations that these individuals and families receive in need? Can you just talk about like you seeing it firsthand when you actually give it to them, or they come and pick it up in that nature?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the really cool things about Hospitality House is that it's a pantry of choice. So what that means is that
Mm-hmm.
clients are able to come in and they shop just like they're at a regular grocery store. Some food pantries, they might just hand somebody a box of food and kind of hope that their
Mm-hmm.
family likes the food that's included in the box. So that power of choice really does give so much to our clients. And the cool thing about a food drive is that with people donating different items, it allows for even more variety to be in the pantry because, you know, typically the foods and items that they're getting, there's certain brands, certain types, but these food drives really help increase the variety. So that's just another added perk that we can offer clients. I did also want to mention that Hospitality House does provide food for Temple Colomie, which is right down the road here. So even though they're located in Commerce, they are certainly supporting the West Bloomfield community.
Great information to know. Thank you for sharing that with us. Also, can you once again reiterate the locations that are accepting donations? And you said you're head of marketing too when it comes to West Bloomfield Park. Can you just talk about how you are promoting it yourself outside of just right here on Civic Center TV? Also.
Sure. So there's 4 different locations for the food drive. The
Mm-hmm.
Recreation Activity Center, which we are located in the Civic Center complex here. Also Town Hall, that's a second location. Our Connect Senior Center, which is located on 14 Mile Road over by Bushes. That's another location. And then Vibe Credit Union, their West Bloomfield location as well. So they're kind of spread out throughout the township, which hopefully will make it easy to drop off those donations. And as far as spreading the word, just please talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, your family, anything you can do to help spread awareness about the amazing work that Hospitality House is doing, but also any way that, you know, the community can support. There's lots of different ways, whether it's volunteering, hosting a food drive, donating, whether it's cash or whatever. There's also a golf outing coming up this summer, which is one of 2 main fundraisers for the organization. So all the golfers out there, if you can mark July 29th on your calendar, we'd love to have you come out and support that event.
Absolutely, absolutely. Last thing I'm just curious about from your perspective personally, how would you assess the success of this food drive? What will make you consider it successful?
I would say, of course, lots of food, cars full of food would be amazing and
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. But I just have, even since we've announced the food drive, I've had a lot of people just talking about Hospitality House more. And since being on the board for 2 years, that definitely has increased. I think awareness in the community is really growing, which is great because that
Mm.
just hopefully will in turn provide more support. So I think if we can, of course, fill several cars full of food, that would be an amazing success. But also the more people that are familiar with this pantry and the work that they're doing in the community.
Thank you so much. Makes sense. And yeah, ultimately, we just want the help of the community to come out, donate the items that you may or may not have in need, but whatever you are willing to give to those in need, and just make sure you tell other people that those resources are available. Once again, from West Bloomfield Parks, as well as a member of Hospitality House, Megan Tahako telling us about the upcoming food drive and their partnership with Five Credit Union, West Bloomfield Parks, as well as a Hospitality House. Thank you again for your time, Megan.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Sure. So the food drive run.
Once again, that's Megan Tahako from West Bloomfield Parks and Hospitality House, joining us talking about the different things going on with their food drive, which is actually going on right now through the 26th of April, where you can drop off different food items that are needed at various locations. For more information on their locations and other information, go to hhfp.org, as in Hospitality House Food Pantry, hhfp.org. Great information to keep you up to date on and how you can help out. But speaking of help, we want to give thanks to those who actually help make our community extremely safe. Whether or not you know it, the Greater West Bloomfield community is recognizing its dedicated dispatchers. This week is National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, giving us another opportunity to recognize people working hard around our community. Keego Harbor Police posted a big thank you on their Facebook page for its dispatchers, who you may or may not know, by the way. They are the voices behind the call. Whenever you make a call in need of service for one of our first responders, you never get a first responder directly. You usually get a dispatcher, and your dispatcher connects to your first responder. So these are the people that we want to thank right here. The dispatchers, by the way, dispatch for all 4 communities in the Greater West Bloomfield area at the West Bloomfield Police Department. So even though they're all at the West Bloomfield Police Department, they do it for all of our 4 communities: Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield. So thank you again. They serve police, fire, EMS services all year round. West Bloomfield Police Department also posted their photos of their dispatchers on their Facebook also. You can give them a thanks and visit the Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD to check out their photos, get more information, and just give them a thanks also. Speaking of thanks, we want to give thanks to those who served our country, our veterans, those who've actually put their lives on the line to make sure that we all get to enjoy the lives that we have ourselves. And it's just been announced that the next Sylvan Lake Veterans meeting dates have been set specifically for this upcoming month of May. Right now I have the information of Monday, May 13th, 10 a.m. at the Grill in Sylvan Lake. In case you aren't privy to this, it's essentially an event where our veterans can get together and be in a safe space with each other. They can just have that camaraderie, talk to each other about their experiences that they have been through and that they are currently going through. You enjoy coffee, baked goods, fruit, little things, little refreshments and things of that nature. And it is a monthly event, and they have it at different locations. So we will continuously keep you organized. As a matter of fact, Kathy Robbins and Bill Kozak recently joined us on the show to tell us about how these meetings actually started.
After the last Memorial Day a year ago, 2 years ago, June now it will be, we had a conversation with Bill and Greg Miller about wouldn't it be nice to have a coffee meetup for vets by vets, and they ran with the idea. So we'll let Bill tell you a little bit more about it. And it started just the month after the Memorial Day recognition service, where we recognize, first of all, the killed in action and our 42 vets.
Good morning, Al. The Veterans Coffee is an opportunity for vets in the area from all branches to gather and just enjoy each other's company. Our branches include the Army, there's Navy and Coast Guard, and we talk about our times back then, in which case, you know what, this goes back 70 years or more. And but we enjoy the camaraderie and different parts of the world where we were all stationed and what we did. It's a nice together, about an hour and a half, and we do that monthly.
Bill Kozak, in case you you weren't watching us on Civic Center TV, he's a veteran himself speaking. Also explain to us why veterans should consider joining in on this event and meeting some other local veterans and why that's so important.
It is, it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. And it's an opportunity to know the neighbors. Some of us have been here for a longer period than others, and here's a chance to see the man or the person you saw walking along the street now with, wow, they were in the military, and it's a nice way to make friends.
And once again, that Veterans Meetup event is Monday, May 13th at 10 a.m. at the Grill in Sylvan Lake. That's on Orchard Lake Road, just north of Middlebelt. We will continue to support and advocate for that, giving our local veterans an event and a safe space to meet up and talk to each other also. And we did talk about getting out in nature. Our neighbors at Chico did that earlier this week with West Bloomfield Parks. Here are actually a few pictures from Chico's West Bloomfield Nature Center field trip. In case you are watching on Civic Center TV, YouTube, or Facebook, you can see kids enjoying meeting different critters of nature. If you're listening on 89.3, you can visit it. You can see the videos and pictures on our website, civiccentertv.com on demand. They had the perfect weather for walking there. They enjoyed the weather. They enjoyed learning about so much more with the animals and nature. Things going on with that. You can learn more about it also at WB Parks Nature Programs and Events, all on their website, I should say, wbparks.org, and also, of course, on their Facebook at WB Parks also. Since it is the springtime, slowly going into the summer, I just want to quickly also let you know that it is gardening season. We did have the opportunity to talk to a member of the Sylvan Lake Gardening Club earlier this week. And now just to remind you that the Kego Harbor Community Garden is opening up very soon also. You do have an opportunity to put in an application for a plot, but just to let you know, those applications and plots are going very, very quickly. The Kego Harbor Community Garden will open up on April 27. Applications are needed as soon as possible if you are considering that. So please keep that into perspective also. For more information and or if you are interested in completing an application or you know someone is interested, please visit the city's website at kegoharbor.org. More information is also available on their Facebook page at KH Parks on Facebook. Local school districts are doing everything that they can to stay safe in our community in light of everything that is going on. And Walled Lake school administrators teamed up with the local police to review their safety standards. We actually have a quote from their social media. It says, quote, Dr. John Bernier and our central office administration teamed up with local law enforcement this morning to continue their ongoing collaboration and review current safety practices and procedures for our schools. A huge thank you to these everyday heroes for their unwavering dedication and support. Together, we're creating a fortress of safety for our students, staff, and community, end quote. Great information to know. As we get more information regarding that, we will also pass that forward to you. As it is our responsibility here on The Splash Live, which we are live on Facebook, Civic Center TV 15, YouTube, Civic Center TV. We also want to thank our viewers on AT&T Channel 99 as well as Comcast Channel 15. We want to thank our producers, Tyler Keefe, Jake Schaff in the studio. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh, for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live, local, and social on The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.